Shalom, giving our praise unto Yabashima Shabbat Shimko HaKodash. The bonus unto the apostles of great millstone. And honestly, brothers, to be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. The brother coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim HaKodash. Giving our praise unto Yabashima Shabbat Shimko HaKodash. Right, okay, so this is going to be a relatively quick video. And the purpose of this video is to quickly touch on, experiences that I've had. And some of the things I've seen concerning these heathen nations, and primarily this is dealing with my own very small amount of experiences, very small amount of experiences. I ain't no big timer out here, but I'm pretty sure brothers that have been there and been around, they certainly could chime in and put their 2 cents and get into it much more than I could, because I live pretty much a simple life where the vast majority of my time is spent working or trying to push this truth, all right, to the best of my ability. That's really primarily how I use my time, all right, just working and doing videos and studying and watching movies or going to the gym. I don't really spend too much time so-called interacting with this world as such. But when the opportunity requires me to do so, I try to do so with the best of my ability. And in so doing, you study the different psychologies of people, to study the best way to maneuver within this society, and obviously work on your personal flaws and whatever. So out there being a volcano, which is something I'm prone to doing depending on who I'm around. You just want to jump on everything and shout at everything, which is it's not necessary to do those particular things, man. Sometimes you just chill and use wisdom and maneuver, especially when you're in a working environment where everything that you're doing is being recorded. Sometimes it's just better to just chill and follow the book. But needless to say, all of that, in my goings about the little bit that I have experienced, because this what we're living right now is not really life, man, and this is not what we're gonna experience within the kingdom. What we're gonna be experiencing in the kingdom is gonna be on a far greater level than this is. This is rubbish, man. This is whack. Okay, this is whack. But through my limited experiences out here on earth, recently as well, there's one thing that I've noticed about these heathens, man, and it's one thing to understand it in terms of scriptures. It's another thing to experience it, right? The deep hatred that they have towards us, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and our propensity to breed with the women of the nations, man. Okay, that's something that Esau don't like. That's something them Elamites don't like. All right, I've had some experiences where I've been with a so-called Edomite woman, and man, you be getting crazy looks, man. Okay, they look like they want to kill you right there and then. And the question becomes, well, the question that a person out there within the world should be asking themselves is, look, why is it going to be so? Okay, if we're so-called equal, and I'm speaking like a layman here, if we're so-called equal, then why are you getting all of these hate vibes, especially if you're not out here cooning in that? Because we all have a cousin, or we all have an uncle that's got a so-called wife of the other nations, and he behaves goofy. But why is it when you are a so-called was it Jack Johnson type Negro? Why is it which I'm not saying I'm like that. I'm just saying when you try to embrace your masculinity, which that's what we try to do in this society, man. We try to be masculine, we try to be men, right? Like the scripture says, remember, and call yourselves men, right? When we try to do these particular things, right, as so-called Negro, Hispanic, or Native American men, why is there such a pushback from society when we try to do those particular things? And the reason is simple, right? The biggest danger to these heathen nations, the biggest danger to these people is the uprising of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. And the greatest symbol of that, just like what happened to our nation, right? We had it to where Esau came up into our communities, and he to this day, they take all the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American women that they like. And even if you think you got your woman, even if you think your game is so crazy that you could just have the women drop the panties, right? After two words, okay? The reality of the situation is the state, which is Esau, controls your woman via these contracts that they have. All right, via these privileges that they have. See, when you got these privileges where you can ruin a child's life for compensatory reparations, right, from the man, then that person ain't down for you, man. That person ain't down for you. So that's a different story for a different day. But let's get back into this topic. So like I was saying, man, when you walk around with these heathen women, that's when you really realize, yeah, Jake is hated out here. Okay, we the Israelites, we're very much heavily hated. We're people that are very hated, man. Okay, these nations, they certainly make a tumult, man. They certainly want to cut us off from being a nation, right? They certainly don't want, the rising up of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. They don't want that. That's not something that they want. And again, like I said, it's one thing to walk out there with a so-called functional black family. That's one thing that they hate too. Okay, and they also hate it when you're out there with a so-called woman of the other nations, especially when you got it like one of them Eastern countries. Like you're walking out there with an Elamite, like an Iranian, and some of them might be Jake. So you just vibe with that particular person's spirit. But you get around them Elamites, man, you're gonna get tension. Because these people, they don't like us, man. This is what Jake don't understand about these heathen nations. They don't like us, man. You're different to them. They could come out with all of this equality BS whilst we're at the camp, but when it comes to equality, they ain't letting you touch their women. And when you really realize how we're supposed to deal with our nation, they ain't supposed to be touching our women either. Now, when we get set up on a standard, we're gonna be taking their women, but they ain't gonna be taking ours. Just like what happened unto us when we fell off a standard. They took all our women, man. They took our resources. And when a nation could just freely take your women, that's when you're done. You're through. You're finished. Okay, you're through. You're finished. Right? Psalms 83:2 says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. They that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel." Now, really, this is speaking about the destruction of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. And I'm sure I could have brought out a better scripture that's more in line with the lesson, man. I really should have thought of a better scripture, but it is what it is, man. All right, because ultimately, dating one of these women is one thing, but ultimately, these nations want to destroy you. If they could, they would. And I suppose when you're dating one of these nations, you really begin to understand that if they could, they would kill you, man. They would destroy you. They would really have it to where the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans are not a thing within the earth, because it's threatening to them. Okay, it's threatening to them. I'm not talking about you just looking at with disgust. They're looking like they're ready to. I've seen this, man. You get the kind of looks that people, they want to put hands on you. You know the look, man. They want to put hands on you. You could be just having a conversation with because this actually happened, man. Right? This actually happened. You be having a conversation with somebody that you known in the past. And obviously, he's gonna be vibing. We're Jake. We're Jake. Okay, he's gonna be vibing, and they can sense that, man. They be looking like they want to fight you there and then. Okay, so these nations, they really, they are our enemies. Really, they are our enemies, and they want to cut us off. Starting first and foremost with the red Hebrew Edomite Esau. Right? They have said, "Come, let us off, cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." Right? For they consulted together with one consent, with their confederate. So all of these nations, the tabernacles of Edom first, Ishmael, Moab. Let you walk around out there with the Moabite chicks amongst the Moabite. Let you walk around with the Ishmaelites, around the Ishmaelites with the Ishmaelite thing. You're really gonna feel the heat, man. Okay, you really are gonna feel the heat. You really are gonna feel the heat, right? Because these nations are confederate, and they all know it's like an unwritten rule. Keep them Jake men are out for me, especially the manly men. They're a threat. Okay, they're a threat to our enterprise. They're a threat to our they're a threat. Period, point blank. They're a threat. Right. So, that's really all I wanted to say about that particular topic, man. I ain't gonna spend too much time speaking on the topic of women. That's not something I really like to do. But yeah, man, you walk around with one of these heathen like women, and you go around them heathens, man. You're gonna find out, man. Right? You're gonna feel that heat. These nations don't like us. When Yahweh Shai returns, they're gonna be put in their place. Without I'm gonna say, praise unto Yahweh Shema Shai Bashim Kodash. The bonus unto the apostles, a great millstone. And all your brothers, they be pushing these truths in sincerity. Shalom.